Northern Michigan is experiencing its biggest transformation in decades. This year, over $655 million spread over 25 projects is being invested right here in Northern Michigan. Whether you're a local or somebody considering relocating to Northern Michigan, these developments are going to completely change the landscape of Northern Michigan. Hi, I'm Gino D'Angelo, a local Northern Michigan real estate broker who has helped over 600 families relocate to Northern Michigan. Whether you're a local wondering about the future or someone considering making Northern Michigan their home either full-time or part-time, this video has everything you need to know about what's happening in Northern Michigan in 2025 and beyond. From world-class performing arts to reimagined natural wonders, there's millions of dollars being spent to reshape Northern Michigan this year. Let's talk about the Traverse City Film Festival expansion. The Traverse City Film Festival is going to expand its offerings at their two centrally located venues, the State Theater on Front Street and the BU by the Bay, which is right on the water. So what's new? We're talking about year-round programming and even virtual screening. While the Traverse City Film Festival actually explored making a bid for the Sundance Film Festival, it ultimately did not make the list of finalists. Speaking of arts, right here in Petoskey, the Crooked Tree Art Center has made some massive improvements to its theater. In fact, there's a scheduled $1 million worth of upgrades upcoming. Now let's talk about Traverse City's culinary expansion. Natello's Little Italy waterfront restaurant is actually opening in 2025. This is a chef-owned restaurant that will be located at the Clinch Park Marina. It's going to have a fresh pasta counter and seasonal outdoor seating. Speaking of waterfront transformations, you need to see what's coming to Charlevoix. Charlevoix County is seeing one of the most innovative public space projects in Northern Michigan history. Let's start in Boyne City, where a major transformation is about to begin. Thanks to a $322,000 grant from the Michigan Natural Resource Trust Fund, the waterfront park is getting a complete makeover. We're talking about pervious paving for a better economical impact, new walking trails, kayak launches, pervious paving, and rain gardens to protect Lake Charlevoix. And something I'm particularly excited about, a specifically designed rain garden, which is going to make this space look beautiful year-round. Just around Lake Charlevoix, East Jordan has already shown what's possible with their $2.5 million Joining Jordan pathway. This gorgeous boardwalk connects their downtown to the Jordan River Valley, and it's becoming a model about how other areas are thinking about connecting their downtown to the waterfront. Now here's what makes Charlevoix's approach different. They are thinking decades ahead. The latest master plan isn't just about quick fixes. It's about reimagining how the entire waterfront works. They're looking at expanding the marina beyond its current 67 slips while doing something really important, preserving the area's commercial fishing heritage. Speaking of community integration, mark your calendar for August 9th, 2025. This is the 66th annual Charlevoix Waterfront Art Fair. This brings in over 180 vendors to downtown Charlevoix. It's the perfect example about how these public spaces aren't just about infrastructure. They're about creating venues for community connection. But I want to be completely honest with you. There are definitely some challenges that come along with these developments. With 65 to 75% of the residents in Charlevoix being seasonal, the region is working hard to balance both growth with environmental protection. The ongoing discussion about the Marine Commercial District, where about 17% has shifted to condos, shows just how carefully they are managing the evolution. This thoughtful approach to development shows us something we're seeing throughout Northern Michigan, which brings us to our next stop, the Traverse City Senior Center. It's expanding from just over 5,000 square feet to 18,000 square feet. It's gonna have panoramic views of West Grand Traverse Bay with some great modern community facilities. It's not just about tourism and fun things to do in Northern Michigan anymore. There's over $40 million being invested in jobs and economic expansion. Now let's talk about a few of the major investments being made. We're talking about the Astor brands, which have invested over $7 million in Harbor Springs, along with 15 new jobs. Really quick, it takes myself and my team a lot of time to make these videos for you. So if you'd like to find out this information even sooner, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter by clicking the link in the description. You'll get access to all the best news in Northern Michigan, as well as restaurant reviews and as much positive information as you can need. So make sure you subscribe using the link below. With over $1 billion in investments, new jobs, new housing, and more traffic is always a concern. However, getting around northern Michigan is about to get a whole lot easier. Let's talk about the 2025 reviving project for the Mackinac Bridge. If you've gone from the Lower Peninsula to the Upper Peninsula, chances are you have crossed the Mackinac Bridge. In fact, I think it's something that every Michigander should do at least once. And you might not have known this, but there's currently an $85 million project scheduled to completely revamp the deck of the bridge. I don't know about you, but that's going to make me feel a lot safer driving across it. However, that is going to come with some nighttime lane closure, which, as long as you're not going over the bridge late at night, it shouldn't affect you much at all. They will also be implementing a de-icing system, which will make the bridge a lot less slippery in the wintertime. One of my personal favorite projects is the Cherry Capital Airport improvement. They are investing about $120 million to expand the airport. Now, as somebody that travels primarily from the Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse City, this is exciting news for me. There's gonna be new gates, new baggage system, and even new TSA checkpoints. And for all of you Delta lovers, there's even going to be a Delta lounge installed in 2025. Now, if you would have told me 5 or 10 years ago that the Traverse City Airport was going to get a Delta lounge, I may not have believed you. But this is super exciting news. This will also mean more direct flights to major cities. And something that we talked about on one of my YouTube lives a while ago was how 98% of the traffic that goes to the Traverse City Airport is not tourists, but people that actually live here either full-time or part-time. And I'll be honest, when I'm in Traverse City, I've noticed just how many more airplanes you see in the air than you used to. That's because the Cherry Capital Airport is located in the center of Traverse City, meaning you see a lot of planes take off and land and are easily able to see just how busy the airport is. And if you are a frequent traveler, you're going to love this expansion, because forever, one of the hardest things about living in northern Michigan was how hard it was to travel, because I can remember not that long ago having to drive to the Detroit airport to find more availability of flights. But as someone who travels a lot, I'll tell you, it has gotten a lot easier to travel from northern Michigan, which I think will increase people to relocate here. And speaking of relocating here, northern Michigan's housing issues are about to get real solutions. And let me tell you, they are ambitious. Let's start in Petoskey, where the lofts at Lumber Square are transforming a vacant lumber yard that has been vacant since 1990. This isn't just another apartment complex. It's a 60-unit answer to the workforce housing needs. And they are hoping to be open by October of 2025, which in the general scheme of things is not that far away. With rents ranging from a little over $1,100 a month to $1,500 a month, it's specifically designed for households earning between $50,000 and $120,000 per year. Think teachers, nurses, and workers that work at the local businesses. These are people who have struggled to find housing in Petoskey for a very long time. And just up 31 from Petoskey, we have Alanson, where they have a major project going on. The Northwest Michigan Habitat for Humanity has created an entire subdivision called the Meadowlands. And the best part, these are not your typical starter homes. We're talking 38 modern manufactured homes with ADA accessibility. 6 families have already moved in, with the rest scheduled to be completed in 2025. The best part are these 3-bedroom homes are priced between $180,000 and $220,000. This is going to make home ownership much more accessible for our essential workers in the area. Now, we can't talk about development in northern Michigan without talking about the development that's going on the former site of Michigan Maple Block. This is one of the most exciting developments in the history of northern Michigan. This brownfield redevelopment is scheduled to break ground early in 2025. And as somebody that drives past there almost every single day, I can tell you there are tons and tons of people already working on the site, and the work they've already done in removing the old building and prepping the site to break ground is phenomenal. Once completed, this is going to bring 200 new rental units to the area. It's the perfect example of how we're reimagining old industrial sites into spots for new housing, all while still preserving the town's character. So when you add it up, 60 units at Lumber Square, 38 units at the Meadowlands, and 200 units at the old Michigan Maple Block site, we're seeing the biggest expansion in Emmet County history. But what makes these projects special is not just the numbers, but how they're keeping the community in mind. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Do you think Petoskey is building enough new units to solve the housing crisis? Drop a comment below. And not only is Petoskey seeing major redevelopment, but Traverse City also. In fact, there's $388 million being invested that is going to completely reshape the Traverse City skyline. Let's start with the State Street project. It's almost a $7 million, partly public, partly private funded project that is going to completely redefine downtown living. This isn't just another development. It's bringing 50 to 70 income restricted units to downtown Traverse City. It's also going to have ground floor retail as well as 500 parking spots. The design phase is complete and the city is working on securing the funding to bring this project to life. Over at the Boardwalk Phase 1, we're seeing a $7.2 million investment transform into a stunning 72,000 square foot building. Construction is already underway, and by the end of 2025, we're gonna have 40 new residential units and 5 retail spaces. One of the most exciting projects in Traverse City is the Mill District on Woodmere. This development is bringing new energy to a very historic area, with the iconic brick wheels getting a new waterfront home, plus a restaurant, brewery, and housing, not to mention a beautiful waterfront pavilion for all to use. Now let's talk about West End innovation. Great Lakes Capital is bringing in 91 new luxury units to the West End, along with 5,000 square feet of commercial co-working space. This project is part of a broader $388 million investment that is completely reshaping downtown Traverse City. And we can't forget Common Grounds, a $20 million testament to community-driven development. This recently completed project brings 18 residential units, 5 short-term rentals, a commercial kitchen, a performing arts center, and co-working space, all community-owned and operated. After helping hundreds and hundreds of families relocate to Northern Michigan over the last 20 years, here's the honest truth about what's happening right now. Specifically since COVID, there has been an increased demand for development in Northern Michigan. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy, and many people want Northern Michigan to stay the way it always was. In fact, almost every time I make a video promoting Northern Michigan, somebody tells me to be quiet in the comments. But Northern Michigan isn't trying to become the next Austin, Texas, or the next Nashville. And that's exactly what makes this transformation so special. When we look at all the developments we talked about today, 3 things stick out. Northern Michigan is growing in a very smart way, preserving its long historic character and still prioritizing real community connection. If you want to know about all of this news before anybody else, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter by clicking the link in the description. But the benefit of these investments are clear. Northern Michigan is going to get a lot more amenities that's going to make it a lot easier to live here, all while still maintaining the authentic up north lifestyle. We're enhancing what makes Northern Michigan special while not losing its soul. Also, the variety of new housing options mean there is something for everyone. And honestly, I think it's going to allow some people to live in Northern Michigan that otherwise were not able to before these developments were completed. But let's talk about the trade-offs. Yes, the winters are still long. And yes, traffic is terrible during the tourist season. And no, we don't have the job market of much bigger cities. And honestly, that's not what most people move here for anyways. People who relocate here are looking for a better quality of life, a slower pace atmosphere, quality education, and world-class healthcare. So if you're considering relocating anywhere from Petoskey, Harbor Springs, Boyne City to Traverse City, please reach out to me directly. I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can call me at 231-487-6141. But before you leave, if you like this video and you're curious about what the real estate market's going to be like in Northern Michigan in 2025, please check this next video out where I talk about exactly that. I'll link it up here, so make sure you don't miss it.